Hi there, Sanjay Gangal from EDACafe. I'm here with Richard Nagel, VP of Sales and Marketing at Vision Engineering. Hello, Richard.
Hello there, Sanjay. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us. I understand Vision is going to be at IPC Apex in early April. So first of all, tell us about Vision Engineering, the company itself.
Sure. So Vision Engineering was founded in 1958. We've actually grown to become one of the leading ergonomic microscope manufacturers in the world. We both design and manufacture our equipment. This includes microscopes, digital microscopes, inspection, and non-contact measurement equipment. We're headquartered out of the UK in Surrey, and we have manufacturing facilities in England, as well as in the US in Connecticut, which is where I'm based currently.
Okay, and you're launching a new Mantis microscope. Tell us about that.
Yes, so we are launching the Mantis. So Mantis in actual fact has been with our company. It was first launched 29 years ago, and we are now on the third generation of Mantis. So what we've done with Mantis over the years is the product has evolved, and we are proud to announce the new Mantis, which consists of three models. There's the Iota, which is the entry-level unit, the Ergo, and the Pixo. The Pixo being a unit which actually has a built-in camera. And these microscopes are feature-wise, they have magnifications that range from 3 to 8 times on the Iota. And the Iota has fixed magnifications 3, 4, 6, and 8. The Ergo has magnifications of 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 15. And we've also introduced a super long working distance 6 and 8 times, and that covers both the Ergo and Pixo units. So we have long working distance lenses over here, which is ideal for rework of components, PCBs, inspection, etc.
Okay, and tell us about the importance of ergonomics in the workplace.
Well, this is what Vision's all about. Ergonomics, a lot of customers spend a lot of time, these are end users, spend a lot of time in front of microscopes. And the posture on a normal microscope is a very awkward posture. People tend to have their backs curved, necks curved, looking down eyepieces. So Vision Engineering, as a company, specializes, as I said, in ergonomic microscopes. And this, by doing so, reduces repetitive strain injury while people are using the microscopes. Many customers use microscopes for several hours in a day in uncomfortable positions, which often leads to injury over a period of time. It's also been proven that if an end user is comfortable while using the microscope, this increases productivity and also helps maintain high quality of workmanship.
So, this might be a naive question, but I know that you got cameras also, in one of the models you got a camera as well.
Yes.
But in general, to solve the ergonomic problem of people's backs and whatnot, wouldn't it be good to have cameras in all the microscopes, and you're watching whatever you're looking at on a big screen in whichever comfortable position you are in, instead of looking through the eyepieces?
Not a silly question at all, Sanjay. And the reason for that is if you look at a monitor, it's a two-dimensional image. So if somebody is actually wanting to work under the microscope and do rework, specifically of very smaller components, it's very difficult to actually do so unless you have a three-dimensional image where you have depth perception. If you look at a monitor, it's only two-dimensional.
Okay.
So that is the reason. But the reason we actually have a camera in one of the units is obviously for teaching purposes. So if somebody has a group of people around them, the one person can be actually operating the unit and the others observe. for teaching. The other is to actually capture images, which could be used for reporting, whether it be QC, reporting back to customers, recording defects, etc. We're able to mark up images with software that's available as well. You can also do comparisons of a golden sample, for argument's sake, and these can be done digitally, where 3 dimensions isn't critical. But the minute you start to work on small components, and as we all know, electronic components are getting smaller and smaller as packages get smaller, and magnification is critical. And the smaller the component, the more critical it is to have that 3-dimensional aspect.
Okay, and so could you feed this two different 3-dimensional data, or looking through 2 different eyepieces data to a headset as well, like the Apple Vision Pro?
So we do have a product, to be honest. It's known as the DRV. And what this has is it actually has 2 cameras built in. And what happens with the 2 cameras, you're capturing an image in stereo. It's a patented product, the same as Mantis is also patented. This is the first of its kind where you can actually see a 3-dimensional image without wearing polarizing glasses or a headset, for instance. And you look at a parabolic mirror, 2 cameras, and you're then able to actually transmit those images in real time. I say real time, it really depends obviously on the internet speed, to another user in another part of the world. And they will see those images in 3 dimensions in, as I said, real time, or pretty near to real time.
That's pretty cool. So what are some of the new features in the new Mantis?
So features in the new Mantis is we've introduced variable illumination. In the past, we always had fixed illumination. We also now have also introduced segmented illumination. So you can switch from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. By doing this, you're able to either highlight areas on a sample that you're looking at. This causes shadows and sometimes give you greater relief. You can look at surface texture by doing that as well. We've also introduced both UV as well as white light, which you can actually use on the system. And this allows you then to look at things like conformal coating, etc. So that's also been incorporated into 2 of the models. We have increased working distances. We have a 3-lens turret, which is on the Ergo and the Pixo. So you have a choice of 3 different magnifications. We've changed the stands on the microscopes to make them a lot more user-friendly. We've increased the eye point on the microscope. So this means that the operator can sit even more vertically. And one of the features which I never mentioned earlier, which is very important, is because the operator is sitting away from the microscope and not looking down eyepieces, they're also able to wear eyeglasses, for instance, as well as maybe safety glasses, depending on the environment they're in, without impacting on the image quality or reducing fields of view.
Okay. And what are some of the application areas that the new Mantis is being used in?
So applications, if we just look at electronics, because we cover several vertical markets with this particular product, but PCB inspection, scanning for fractures, defects, etc. Solder quality is another one. Looking for pads that might have lifted is another area. We also have transmitted light available on the products, depending on the model that's chosen and the stand, which then allows you to look at, say, plating through PCBs when you're looking at through-hole plating. That's another application on the Mantis. But rework is a big thing on this particular product line.
Okay. And in what ways has the introduction of this Mantis microscope transformed quality control and inspection processes in the manufacturing environments?
Well, it has made some very, very big impacts in this, because as I said to you earlier, operators are actually able to spend several hours under the microscope without any strain. So you find that you're able to get operators to spend longer periods of time using the microscope. And that, of course, has a big impact also on the throughput on a production line.
Okay, and You mentioned that you have several options for customizing, including illumination, magnification, and stands. How do you consult with clients to tailor the Mantis microscope to their specific needs?
So what really happens is we would go online with the customer, look at the application, and we would then suggest what we feel would be a good fit for the customer, together with their line engineer, obviously. The customer would normally have a process, and they would say we inspect at 8 times, because they obviously don't want to inspect at higher magnifications, because this will obviously impact on scrap rates. But we work around the customer's requirements, and then we have these different options, as we mentioned early on, with regard to stands. So whether the stand, a lot of it's the depth of the bench, for instance, the environment where the operators have to stand, whether they sit, all of these are taken into consideration. Working distance, what's on the bench, what we have to accommodate on the bench. And we would work with the customer in order to actually design a system that was, or suggest a system that was fit for purpose.
And looking ahead, are there any upcoming announcements or new products in the pipeline that build upon the Mantis microscope's capabilities?
Well, we are continuously introducing new accessories. So we've just recently introduced another accessory which allows people to actually look in holes. So it's an illuminator that actually projects light down into very small apertures. So that's one of the accessories coming out. And you'll have to watch the space for some other new things that'll be coming out on Mantis. But as Vision Engineering, we got some exciting times ahead of us. We will be launching another major product later this year. So it's always exciting, both for our sales teams as well as for our customers.
Great, great. And what is the best way for our audience to find out more about Vision Engineering and Mantis on the internet?
Well, it is www.visioneng.us, and you'll find it all there.
Okay. And Richard, is it okay if I ask you a couple of personal questions?
Well, let's see. You can go ahead.
So what do you do for fun outside work, or what is your personal passion?
Well, one of my personal passions is, since, as you can hear by my accent, I'm obviously not from the US, but one of my personal passions since moving across to the US is smoking meats. So I've really got very, very involved in this. Tried all different various types of meats. I've done from fish to duck to different types of red meats, etc. It is a passion right now.
Okay. And what is your go-to signature smoking meat dish?
My favorite right now, in actual fact, believe it or not, is salmon, and using different types of woods and different profiles there. But I've done, as I said, duck's another one. Duck's a pretty good one as well.
Yeah, I would love to try your salmon.
No, the salmon is good.
So can you also share something about yourself that most people at Vision Engineering who work with you don't know about you?
Oh, Sanjay, that's such a difficult question. I've worked for Vision for 21 years, so it's very hard to keep secrets after such a period of time. And obviously, over that period of time, you've built up some really close friends, right? So it's very difficult to... I honestly, off the top of my head, can't think of anything that I could share that my colleagues don't really know about me. I hate to disappoint you, but I really can't think of anything on the spur of the moment. But if we have the opportunity to speak again, I'll think of something between now and then.
I'll save the question for next time. So as a final question, Richard, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Yeah, and no hesitation there.
No hesitation, not at all.
Do you have any dogs?
Sanjay, I used to have dogs, but unfortunately, with the amount of travel that I do right now, it would be unfair to have a dog and not being able to give the attention to it. And it's like having a best friend, and you couldn't really leave them at home constantly, you know. So it's very difficult with my travel commitments. But maybe one of these days when I sit back and get a pipe, and I'll get a best friend again, and I'll have my dog on my side.
Well, thank you so much, Richard, for taking time to record this interview. Have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the opportunity, Sanjay. Keep well.
This is Sanjay Gangal from EDACafe.